Explain that a little bit more then.
So again, it comes up to, what do you want out of the industry?
This little baby that you can grow, and actually that's the chain reaction.
Exactly. So now I'm excited again.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's
Amazing.
something exciting.
Gives so much energy, and it's incredible. And I thought it was really nice for people to see your side of the story.
I think they're seeing a lot of it and going, oh, maybe there's easy money involved, and
Okay. Are we going to mention names?
no.
That's why I was saying about you in that nightclub. You were
The way
like,
it was relentless,
you were
right?
the one that was just out every day, like everything on social media. Come to the club, come here. It's the best club. It's everything. I'm like, your
I should
energy was,
repeat, man.
your energy was insane. But that's why I thought that because you were owning the club,
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Then I thought that everything was okay, but then all of a sudden it just went completely.
Yeah, it's like, because I was stupid. Yeah. So it's a little bit of a, it's too trusting. You can't. You got to have that, got to have what you call the tough business acumen.
But do you think then that's something in this talent industry that we need?
I think so.
Because again, it's trusting.
Yeah. You got to be trusting, and you got to follow your instinct, but you also have to make sure everything is in black and white. Yeah. So
Well, that's quite important, actually,
Yeah.
especially with some of the commercials that people do.
Yes.
The usage rights and all
Yeah.
these kind of things.
Yes.
That you've got to make sure it's in black and white. And if
Yeah.
it's not following, then you're able to go back to that.
yeah.
So why didn't you do black and white?
I did. I did. I had a good lawyer.
All right.
But when the person wants to hide, and that's the thing. So it's very important also to make sure that knowing that when the person disappears, what can you do?
So it's also being
Yeah.
aware of the people that you're involved with.
Yes,
in every
exactly. It
aspect.
doesn't mean like they're there and they're having something you don't, and they keep it's actually, if they keep opening and closing the club and you're hearing rumors or whispers, sometimes it's good to actually be aware of that.
Yeah.
Rather than so there are warning signs, and so I chose to ignore it, and I got burned.
Lesson number one for anybody. who's
Yes. But to say that whoever went into a business with me always did well, because I'm a trusting person.
watching. And you're relentless.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll do the job, and so it's good. But now with my Pageant, and I've got
Yeah.
Pravita as my partner, so I own the license and I bring in as my partner,
Yeah.
and we have a good understanding. But I'm very honest with her, full access to the accounts, this is all very important.
Yeah.
Everything gets put in, because you don't want to create that distrust, so and to kind of find the niche, like one may be the face, and everybody in a business may have the value. Not everybody may be the one who is doing the work, but sometimes just having the person there who's got the good who's got what you call the riz,
Networking.
yes, and the networking, and who's good to who's the face of the, that's important as well. So you can have two same people.
Yeah.
If two people have the same personality and they're in a business together, they're going to clash.
Oh, but look, I've known you for a long time, and I've seen and been with you with all of your pageant history, and that's why I wanted to get you on the show, because you give so much energy, and it's incredible, and I thought it was really nice for people to see your side of the story from a pageant perspective, but also business, because in this industry, even as a pageant or even as a model, or you're doing directing or anything, you're still working it as a business, because ultimately we're making money somehow.
Yeah.
And in the pageant world, it's got a bad rep for a few things.
Yes. And I think a skill also in the pageant industry and business is, a lot of times we make it, you and me as well, we make things look easy and effortless. Yeah, but they're not seeing the hard work behind, because that's what the industry is all about, right?
Yeah.
So it's good for people to also know coming in that, yes, there's all the glamour, there's all the glitz, but really people behind, you've got to put in the work.
Yeah.
And social media hasn't helped that, because they are like, oh, you shouldn't be working hard, you should just be,
Looking good.
yeah, you should looking
making
good, and
money.
you should just be on your phone, and if you're earning 20,000 but you're working 9 to 6, you're a slave to your career. So this creates that mindset in the young people. Like they actually feel ashamed to say that they are
they
working,
that they work
they're
hard.
hustling. Yeah. They've got to look like they're just sitting down, and when they sleep and they wake up and they open their phone and they've made 50,000. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So
I'm an influencer.
yeah, so the money is going to come in, and actually that's a business as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so they are actually working hard.
So give me, okay, so anybody who doesn't know you,
Yeah.
how did you start, and what kind of things have you been through in the last, what's it been, 10 years?
Yes. Okay.
So how did you start? Because I want to go deep into this, because the pageant world is something we can go deep. Like there's a lot of stuff. We
Oh
can talk
God, so
about.
many levels.
We've spoken about it,
Yeah.
personally anyway. And now it's about how can we get those things out to people out there? Because even in the last 6 months, I've seen an explosion of pageants and so many people getting involved. And I don't know, there's something a bit weird and a bit scary about it.
I think
and
because
that
they're
your
seeing
experience,
I think they're seeing a lot of it and going, maybe there's easy money involved, and
So that's from the organizer's perspective,
Yes.
right? Maybe there's a
Yeah.
way that I can make pretty
Yes.
decent, pretty quick money
Yeah.
from these people who
Yes.
seem to be desperate to get all the glitz and the glam and be on
exactly.
the
And
limelight.
a lot of people who've joined, they don't know the difference between one pageant and another.
Yeah.
And then you're wondering, why are we even bothering? You
So
know?
back to the beginning. Rewind.
Back to the
all
beginning.
This. You've done none of these things.
Yeah.
And then you have this idea to go.
Okay, so this so
Go.
basically I started, I was a lecturer in the university, and of course very involved in fitness, and I opened 2 very successful gyms. I used to have a called CardioWorks, and then
What's it called?
CardioWorks.
CardioWorks?
CardioWorks.
Wow.
Fitness and aerobic studio. Back when I was in my
everybody in their leotards and
back in my 20s.
Yeah.
So I was like Malaysia's under 30 successful women. Back then, when it was just newspapers. So and magazines, Her World, Female, what's that chili party, that FHM, chili party of the, I was chili party of the month. So just so
Chili party of the month.
So I would say I always had a business acumen, but was always like the one going into the business and generating. And I would say I was lucky. I was very successful. I did well. And sometimes I think a little bit of when it comes a bit too easy, it can go to your head, right? Yeah.
But do you think it came easy? I don't think so.
Well, I think I went in at the right time, and to
So
be
it's good
fair,
timing.
To be fair, I was very good in the industry.
Yeah.
So I was I had all my certifications. I was a very good instructor. I was a good personal trainer. I had the skills.
Networking,
Yeah, the
communicating.
networking. Yeah, exactly. So I created kind of like a personal. What he's gone back then. Then fitness first came, and celebrity fitness came, and then we got wiped out, right? So then you have to adapt, right? So then adapting, and then I went into more like a personal training approach, and I'm like, okay, I can't deal with the big boys. If I don't adapt, I'm going to have to close down. So then I went into a more personal, and I went, okay, this is personal. You don't have to worry about the big crowds, So did all that, and then Then after a while, went into fitness, took part in a bodybuilding competition, went off to Melbourne, won a gold medal. And
What?
I'm like, yeah. So I was
Okay,
like,
I need a picture of that. I'm going to put that up on the screen
So I
right
was
now.
like
Give me that picture.
yeah.
I want to see you in that.
So that was good, and that was not easy because I brought my kids with me, and you have to eat healthy, and there's the rest of the family, like they're just like eating everything under the sun, So that kind of like creates that discipline, and that was done. Kids were getting bigger, and then I guess just like everyone else, I thought like, maybe I want to take part in a beauty pageant, which is something like, I had taken part in Miss Selangor.
Okay.
When I was like 20 or something, and I came out like second runner up, but I didn't have a good experience because like the event was held in a nightclub, and it was a bit like a it was a bit like, for me, I felt it was a bit like sleazy.
You can say the word.
Yeah,
it's
okay, I can say, you know how it was back then.
Fine.
It was sleazy. So it left me quite traumatized.
Okay.
So I never talked about it, and I was like, I must have been like 18 or 19, you know. So it was an experience. But I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. Fitness was good. So after I got older, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll try the Mrs. Pageant. There's something there.
What's that? Mrs.
So I took out in Mrs. Universe.
Right.
So I decided to take part in
what this means as the difference between Miss and Mrs.
Yeah.
What is that?
So Mrs. when you say, okay, there's Miss Universe, of course. So Miss Universe is like the number one Miss Pageant, and Mrs. Universe is its counterpart for married women, or you can be divorced, or you can be single mothers. So so I always say a miss. So just say you interview me and I'm a miss, and I'll say, oh, so I've got my master's in English and I want to change the world, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But the missus, you're already older, you've had your kids, maybe you've gone through an experience. You have to talk about what you have done. There's a difference. What you have done, what's your experience? Yeah, you really have to have to be a bit more successful, right? So I picked the platform, I did my homework, and I was like, okay, Mrs. Universe, it's a good platform because it's the number one.
It's the number one.
Yeah, it's the number one. Everyone knows that.
Is it still the number one?
It's still the number one. So there's Mrs. Universe, Mrs. Earth, of which I'm the president now. So
congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So Mrs. Earth is the number one environmental pageant in the world. So so that makes that different there. And whilst Mrs. Universe, they'll focus more on women issues and things like that. So you find your niche where you feel you can do more.
This is really important for people to even know just the baseline of what the pageant world is. And, you know, if they're thinking about going into it, be careful about which one you're going into, because it's got to match your principles as well.
Yes, match your principles. Very true, very correct. And all of the pageants have a different set of, like, you know, what
you have to achieve,
what you have to achieve, what they expect from you. And at that time, I was pretty muscular. I was very fit. So I was thinking, as a fitness girl, I want to go in there and show that fitness people can make an impact in the beauty pageant. So I went there, took part,
Okay, just before you go further, how did you have that confidence then to just be like, I want to show this? Like, where did that come from? Because that's not what everybody's attitude is. So you've built that up.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, I want to go and show them.
That
this body, this woman, this, you know, can actually do something.
Well, also I went blind. So I was not really, I kind of went in the way a lot of people go in nowadays, like going in and like, oh, they'll have all the sponsors and I don't have to do anything and I'm so amazing and I'm so smart and I'm stunning and I'm gorgeous. I've got 3 kids. I got an amazing hubby, you know, and so they will do everything for me and I just turn up. So, but you get what I mean? Like, but that's not what it's about. You have to put the effort in as well, you know. So you got to bring your supporters in. You got to find your sponsors. You got to invest in your catwalk coach, in all these things. How are you going to do photography?
Yeah.
You know, I'm coming from the fitness line, so I'm posing like a fitness girl.
Yeah.
So, and I'm thinking, oh, you want to make that change, but it's a bit too jarring. Yeah, it's too much. You can't trust it into their face. So there's a lot of learning that was involved. You know, so of course, when I took part in Mrs. Universe Malaysia, then I got placed a second runner-up, And one thing about me is I never complain. I never say, oh, I was cheated, I was this or that. I take it home and I do my homework and I go, what could I have changed? What could I have done better? Like, you know,
so what was
connection.
It? Why didn't you win? What was the reason?
Well,
were you cheated?
No. You know, the thing is, I was a newbie.
Okay.
And the person who won in the end, she wasn't.
Okay.
So whatever
she had
it is.
A bit more experience.
Yeah, she's done her bit.
Did she have a bigger network or anything like that?
She had a bigger network of the queens.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was known.
The queens, these were the previous.
She was known in the industry.
Oh, okay.
So I guess what she could do is she could do more for the organization. So so I really call that sometimes you can't just come in and go, because who are you?
Yeah.
Ask yourself this, who are you?
What value are you bringing?
What value are you bringing? They are bringing you a value. You pick this organization. Everybody knows who they are. But who are you? That's
Wow.
yes. So then what happened is then they approached me and said that one of the girls pulled out and they needed someone to take part in the international competition, which was Classic Universe Malaysia, which I hold the license for now.
Okay.
And it was in Bulgaria, yeah?
Wow.
So I was like, okay.
You just go for it, don't you? You
Yeah.
just step into
no, but
it.
because I was like, okay, now I've gone in there, I understand a bit, and I'm going to go in with the open mindset. I'm going to improve. And yeah, so I went for the competition, and I think I played my cards right. I learned, like, I went in there, I didn't complain like the organizers, you go in there with the mission to win.
So there's
and to be
a
helpful.
strategy.
There is a strategy. Yes,
I don't think many people know this.
There is a strategy, yeah.
And there seems to be a little bit of politics behind it.
And politics, they got to like you. And it's not enough for you to be famous on Instagram and all the and that's the thing, the pageant fan pages. The fan pages may go, you're the winner. But if the organizers and the judges don't like you, they can scream your name on social media till kingdom come, and you're not going to get that placing, because so it's that, like, when they look at you, they're going to be like, okay, I feel like, she's going to be an asset to our organization. And it's
Because
not about money. People always think that, you pay and all that. But no, sometimes you have to give your time.
Yeah.
And that's what I gave, you see. So, the rest is history.
So that's quite interesting, because even as any talent getting involved with this industry, you are representing a brand, you're representing a client, and you're going to give them value in whatever way that is.
Yes.
And that's exactly what you were doing there, right? So the pageant title is literally a brand.
It's a brand.
And you are representing that brand, and so they get to choose who's going to represent us for the next year.
Yeah.
So it's actually an important role.
Yeah. And a lot of contestants, I feel, don't understand that. If you
Do you think they take it seriously or not? Do you think they just go in there thinking they want the glitz and glam?
Okay.
They're not serious about what it means to be a brand ambassador in a way for that title.
Okay. I always say this. Okay. Just say, Carl, you're an English teacher. Okay. So you have a student who doesn't speak English that well, maybe a second language speaker, and someone who maybe like me, who speaks English, but you can spot the mistakes. All right. And just say you're teaching me and them. So now what you're going to do is you are going to praise them and encourage them and love them and mold them. But with me, you're going to go, that's wrong. You need to put some inflection in. You need to be a bit this one, there, because you're trying to perfect me, right?
Yeah.
But what the mindset's going to create is, unfortunately, the person who knows a lot will realize that they know nothing. And the person who knows nothing will think they know a lot. So if you go into the pageant and think that you deserve to win, you act, as they say, Jon Snow, you know nothing.
So you're going to get humbled pretty quickly.
Yes, exactly. Because if you think that you know everything and you deserve to win, it means that you knew nothing, because learning is a continuous process. You're learning now.
Yeah.
I'm learning. We're both learning as we are. Yeah, right?
I'm just happy you didn't ask me the question, like, what would you have done, Carl, with those two English students?
Yeah, see, so what would you do? Yeah. So that's
but this is why I think it's so interesting that you're on this podcast and that we can talk about it, because I think it's actually quite an important role that the pageants play in the society.
Yeah.
And as the build up for talent, really.
Yes.
Because, I mean, my businesses have sponsored and been part of it to give them opportunity after the pageant.
Yeah.
But what you've done is you've given them the baseline to really start to show themselves and to build up a little bit of confidence that then they can transition into the reality of the industry.
Yes.
So they come into your pageant and they learn how to walk, they learn how to speak,
Yes.
they take photos, do videos, social media
everything,
presence.
social media,
Now,
everything. Yeah.
you are literally doing the 5 things that I teach: photo, video, speaking,
Yes.
runway, and influence.
Yeah.
Which
I'm
is,
doing the basic version.
which
You're
I
taking
believe
it to the
is
next lesson.
the ultimate talent.
Correct.
So the pageant world is giving people the foundation
Yes.
to become the ultimate talent
Yeah.
if they understand it,
Yes.
if they realize the power that they have at that moment of being in one of these organizations.
But some pageants are not doing that.
Okay. Are we going to mention names?
No. So some would just be like, oh, you just gotta like, it's all about the makeup and the
Okay.
just like, you know, how.
So
they're
this
gonna
is
put-
why it's
yeah.
important to say this,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
people don't realize.
Yeah,
Like if we're saying that this is the good parts of the pageant world, but there is a complete opposite of
Yes.
that, and this is what people need to be aware of.
And
so
again,
explain that a little bit more then.
So again, it comes up to what do you want out of the industry, right? So everyone says, but nowadays nobody says they want to make a difference. Nobody wants to make a difference. But some people still want to make a difference with their,
You mean the organizer?
No,
Oh, you
so
mean
the person
the
who joins in,
contestants. Yeah.
maybe with, so what, okay, so first things first, when you join, like you said, I always believe they need to build themselves first. So I create the base and then I recommend them, and I always, of course, recommend them. I get booked to go in there, and then I push them to go and build.
Yeah.
Because I'm only doing the basic.
Yeah.
It's just a little
And you can
bit
only
to
do
get you
so much in the
started.
time
Yeah.
that you have and the
Yes.
resources that you have.
Yes, and then it's up to you from there to keep doing the continuous education, what we call continuous education. And that's the thing in fitness. You know, you have your ACE certification or your personal trainer and group fitness instructor. If you don't do continuous education, your certificate lapses.
Yeah,
You see?
very true.
Yeah, but in the pageant, it's like you're a queen and that's it. But you should be constantly evolving, and especially a lot of them, they want to go into the industry. They go into the pageantry because maybe they want to go into commercials, they want to go into runway, they want to go into beauty, you know, or they want to be an
Or they want to be an
influencer.
influencer. They want to
Yeah.
influence the world.
Yeah,
Want
and-
to change the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think, of course, a title is going to make that difference. But again, the title need to come from a reputable organization. If it's just something that's created from the air, just plucked
Well, there's no
out,
history
and
or-
someone, and there's no history, and then it has no meaning. And that is why everyone goes, oh my God, there's so many. Beauty. Yeah, there are so many, but there are still only the top 5 that,
Okay.
you know, that people around the world is going to know. If you go in one country, or if you go to South America, or you go to Africa,
It's
they're
still
going to know.
recognized.
They're going to know what's Earth, you know. But just say you have a local sun and you've created it, and you go to that country and go, oh, I'm Mrs. blah 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 blah, and they're going to go, what? You know, and same for that. That's
And
happening
especially if you
everywhere.
say that was in 2022.
Yeah.
3 years ago, yes.
Yeah.
Well, your title is 3 years gone.
Is the organization still there? You know what I mean? Yeah. Would it still exist? Yeah.
What do you feel about people who go into so many different? Because I've seen on social media where they have lists of like 7 different pageants that they are second runner-up, first runner-up, Miss Congeniality of this particular one, or whatever it is, you know, because you have these subtitles, right? And this is the thing I never knew, and I've judged on your events, and it's really incredible, like the amount of things that they have to go through.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't know about all the different titles. For me, I thought, oh, it was a winner. Right?
Yeah.
There's a winner. That's it.
Yeah.
But there's all these subtitles. So first of all, what do you think about people going into all of these different pageants? And then secondly, what do you think about all of these everybody wins something idea?
Okay. So going into different pageants, like, okay. So now if you were a top 3 winner, I think you should wait. Do something.
Wait before you go into another
one.
Yeah,
Wait the year. Do something, you know. Build your
with
social-
that title.
With the title, you know. I've had people who win this year and go, oh, of course, the instant you win, all the organizers are going to be calling you, oh, can you take part in our pageant?
Really?
Because they want to, and in a way they're using you. You already got your bit of fame, and not necessarily you're going to win. There's that clickbait there, yeah.
So they
That's
want
the
to
trap.
use you for promoting their brand.
There's the trap.
Doesn't mean you're going to win. Doesn't
Exactly.
mean
Yes, but they may tell you
clever.
you're going to win. Very clever, because so and then you're like just from the high there. But if you sit back and go, look, I got to be to this level. I'm top 3. That's not easy to achieve.
No.
Everybody wants to be there at the top in
you have,
a good,
probably 30
reputable
people?
pageant. Yeah,
30
like when we do
30
auditions,
contestants.
we would have like 100 people audition. Yeah, I mean a lot. But we've got, if you can't speak well, it's easy to sift them off, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Your filters.
especially filter. You need to have your filters if you have that brand that you're trying to uphold. Yeah, and it gets
Because
harder.
ultimately you have standards for that brand.
Yes.
Yeah.
So of course, if I wanted to take everybody in, no problem. Then I could have so
make
many
money
people
and the
make money.
registration fees.
Yes, exactly. But I've got to see, is this person going to be a good fit for my organization? Are they going to have the class? Are they going to have the integrity? Are they going to be able to speak well? Good ethics. All this is very important that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
when they move on to another pageant, it kind of it takes down the level at which they've already worked hard for. Right?
Exactly.
They
And
kind
if
of
you
demote
lose there,
themselves at that point.
and if you lose there, they're only going to remember the loss.
Last one, yeah.
That
So
you
they
lost.
should maximize this
Yes.
and be part of the
Yeah.
organization to help them.
Yes,
Because
and
then you're going
grow
to feel
from
like
there.
that's something
Yeah.
positive as well.
So because there's so many things you can do. You can go for projects, and you can come back as a judge. You can come back as a what you're
Trainer.
going to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're going to
train
train
the
the
trainers.
trainer.
Yeah, so you can have a train
Yeah,
class.
so they
Yeah.
can come back and give their advice, like what they went through and how they've grown from it and what they learned. A little bit of the tricks that maybe they used to get,
Yeah.
to stand out among all the.
So if
people
they
that
go
are
to
there.
another one, you just completely forget.
I let them.
You let them go. That's
well,
it.
the thing with me is I don't sign contracts,
Yeah.
because I'm like, what's the point? It's ethics. You should know.
So
There's
they're
no point,
under-
because a lot of they'll sign the contract and all that, but if
the
someone wants to
contract
walk
for?
out, someone
Yeah.
wants to walk out. You get what I mean? What you gonna do? Take a law case again? You can do what you want, but it's kind of like reflecting badly on you, because everyone in the industry, it's the unspoken secret rule that if you have won top 3, you should wait a year.
Okay.
Everybody knows that. It's the unspoken rule. Like if you're allergic to aspirin, don't take aspirin. Don't take anything from the aspirin family. Like it's common sense, but no, yeah. So it's like,
But
oh,
do you think
he
people
didn't-
just have this bit of greed for it then? Like,
Yes.
Or do you think they've
Yeah.
taken it a little bit in a negative way, that they've become the third runner-up, second runner-up, and then
Yeah.
they're like, I'm going to prove to them that I can now go and win this particular one?
Yeah,
Do you think that's a
and
bit
sometimes
bit
the organizer will kind of go there, because the organizer just wants the contestant that's already been trained, that's
Yeah.
already like famous, that's already got the and especially in our pageants, right? I'm constantly like posting and promoting, and there's a big
There is one word for you: relentless.
relentless.
And I love it.
Yes, exactly, because I want them to feel that they got something out of it, and and what is the next question? The second one.
Yeah.
The first one was what was the second one? What was the second one? What was the second one? You asked 2
I
questions.
did. No, I'm
Did you
funny because you already Did anybody remember the second question?
Anyone
And then
remember
we'll just
what
cut
was the
there.
second question? Oh yes,
Everybody-
smart, yeah.
Everybody
okay.
what?
Yeah, why? What do you think of everybody getting something?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well
yeah.
done.
All right. That's okay. So now,
Otherwise, I have to rewind the tape and go back in.
So now my take on that is, okay, it's in a way, if you've joined a pageant, okay, and it's a bit more upmarket. So of course, you know how Mrs. Universe or Mrs. Earth or Mrs. World, we do our pageants in a big hotel, as A-star. To be fair, they've invested money. They've maybe brought their supporters in. They've bought a table. They've got their national costume. So they have invested a bit of money. Now, so they, in a way that even though they can only be 3 winners, And especially in pageants like this, where we are shortlisting people who really we feel anybody could have the chance to be at the top. We're never really going to know. So in that sense, when we give the subsidiary titles, it's our appreciation to show that yes, it was, because it's something,
No, it's nice.
Yeah, we don't want.
I've heard it a few times. People are,
Yeah.
everybody gets a sash.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a
But they
title.
can only be
there's only one winner.
the winner takes it all. But we don't want to say the loser's standing small.
Yeah.
That's sad, The winner takes it, but the rest can be around there and can support her.
But this is why I think it's nice with the pageant industry, because you are there to support and you are supporting them and you're appreciating their effort up to that point. And so then you do give them the subsidiary titles. And I think that's a nice touch.
Yes, because
So
there's
those
a
out there
champion.
complaining about it,
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's nice.
It's nice to walk away with a sash.
It's nice, and just say like the subsidiary title, Miss Personality. Yes, there's one person there who's got the best personality, best body. There's always going to be one
keep
person
going
there
with
who's
these
got the
subsidiary
best
titles.
body.
What do you have? So you have
best personality and best catwalk.
Right.
There's always going to be someone who's got the best catwalk.
They may not be the overall winner.
Yeah.
But they were actually very good at the catwalk.
And the most eloquent, the one who spoke the best on the stage, and one of the most important titles, most popular, the one who brought the crowd in.
Yeah.
The one who brought the crowd in. How can we not acknowledge them when they are the ones who supported and they brought everybody in there? It's not easy. I can tell you something. Some contestants can't even bring one person into the final.
But why is that though? Okay. There's no reason. There's no excuse in a way.
Yeah, there's no, they can't. But what they think is they deserve to win because the judges, are going to judge them and they'll win because they're going to shine on the night.
But they have no support.
They have no supporters. So you see, you and then they're going to get a wake-up call.
It's a bit delulu, right?
It is a bit, exactly. So you got to set the rule. Everybody got to bring in their supporters. And that's fair. And keep it fair.
Well, that's part of the rule
like a set limit,
using
right?
a network and actually giving something to the organization.
Like for me, and I'm very plain. I say you have to bring in at least 5 supporters. Is that a lot to us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 supporters. Or get a table. And then whatever else you do after that, it's up to you. But it's no bearing on the marks. You get what I mean? Yeah. You can bring in, if you're so popular and you can bring in 4 tables, so be it. I'm not stopping you. But why we do that is we don't want the situation to arise. Just say the person who didn't bring in any supporters and the one who deserved to win. And let's face it, Carl, you're a popular guy. Just say you took part in the competition now. And now you called all of us and say, hey, I'm taking part in Mr. Classic Universe.
Well, I'll pass it up one of the younger ones, if you don't mind.
Okay. All right.
Well, let's do it.
And,
Let's do
and
Mr.
you know
Classic
what?
first. Yeah.
You are going to fill out 5 tables, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to say no to you. Anybody you call is going to say, Carl, I'm going to buy a seat. I'm going to come and support you. Because you're the man. You deserve to win. So, and just imagine some newbie who thinks he's all that and this and didn't bring anybody and then goes, oh, Carl just won because he bought 5 tables.
Yeah.
You see that?
So this is the mistake then that the contestants make, because they think, well, first of all, if I bring those 5 tables, then I should automatically get the win, which is not the case.
But you managed to bring it because you.
But there are people who think they're going to win because they just brought the crowd.
Yeah,
but it's the other things on top.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So if you deserve it and you brought the crowd, then yes. But of course, if you look terrible or you can't speak well and you're not
you don't perform.
You don't
it's
perform.
A performance.
Sorry, you don't perform. You are not going to win. And I always tell my contestants that you have to perform on the night. That's the most important. Yeah.
So all of the build up is literally to that finale.
Yeah.
So okay, you've seen a lot. You've been through a lot.
Yeah.
What's the hardest part of what you do?
It's not easy.
So there's two parts to this question. We'll do the first part and then I'll remember the second part.
Yeah.
The first
remember it for us, yeah.
The first part is from you as an organizer,
Yeah.
trying to organize this event.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the contestants.
Okay.
Because they don't see all this hard
Yeah.
work and all
Okay.
the stuff that you've been through
Yeah.
with sponsorships, locations, trainers,
Yeah.
all
All that, yeah.
Explain that, because people need to know the amount of things you have to do.
Yeah.
And on the night, like, I see it all with you. You are here, there, everywhere. You just don't stop. And you're
Yeah.
in your heels and you're still looking amazing. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, don't go into something if you don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean? So, of course, I am a good organizer. I know I am. I've always liked that, and I learned, and I have to give credit to, like, when I took part in Mrs. Universe and Yinzi Marketing. For a while, we did Supermodel together, and then we went our separate ways. And I learned from them. So, you have to acknowledge, I have to acknowledge them.
Yeah.
That maybe sometimes you feel that you may feel that you are underappreciated, but you have to appreciate what they did for you, because I learned from there. But I didn't sit back and not know what was going on. I watched and learned. And so when I had to take over, I brought my own flavor in it, but I already knew what was needed. And then I built my connections, I got the things, and then it becomes second nature. And once you get that and you're a hard worker, it's easy. Now, the tough part is the contestants. Because, they're not robots.
Yeah.
So, and you feel everything is going to go well, and then one or two suddenly, I got to pull out. So you see, you have everything according to your schedule. But it's the human aspect of it that's going to fail you. And then you got to keep your cool. And to tell you the truth, those days, I would lose it. I would lose it.
Yeah.
I've had a contestant who had 10 tickets, and she still won. Yeah. She still won. I still allowed her to take the win, but she held the tickets and she returned it to me 1 hour before the event. And I said, "What do you want me to do with it?" And I said, "Why don't you just tear it up?" And she stood in front of me and she tore it up.
And this was a contestant.
Yeah. So these are all things that y'all don't see. And you know what? I allowed, it's okay. Because I said, why don't you just tear it up? Because what am I going to do with this ticket? And I thought that I could be mean, and I could I could be, she scored well. She was the top two. So I allowed the results to go through, and, and she did very well. And she had the things to be a top model and all that. And I guess sometimes you have to see, maybe pageantry and beauty and model is different. Model got to have a bit of attitude. You get what I mean? Because talent job is talent job. Yeah. Yeah. So, you see things like that. And I would have but over time, I have learned, and that comes with, I think, maturity. And I've made a promise that I will go through the whole pageant without screaming.
Okay.
Without raising my voice.
More composure.
Yes, and I always make that promise. But one time it happened. Well, it's just I think I've done it then I'll have to go I've got to get everybody together and and they're like, oh my God, Ammetta, shit's about to hit the ceiling. Yeah.
But they need that, right? They need
They
this
need
passion.
that, yeah.
And
they
I
need
think,
that. They need a little bit of that, where you go come on, man.
Let's go.
Let's
'Cause,
go.
Ultimately, you as an organization also have to put a performance on.
Yes.
Because people are there to watch.
People are there to watch, and
if
they're brutal.
Or if it's just this is awful.
Yeah.
This is just
Yeah.
not great.
It's
then, of
brutal.
course, it has an effect on your name as well.
Yeah, it's not easy. I would tell you that we get a lot of good feedback, people, but we also get a lot of even though we are me and Pravita, we're always sincere in what we do, or we feel we are. So, or maybe people may say we are narcissists. I don't know. How are we going to know, right? But we are always trying to do the best we can. But, somehow, when they are upset, and you have to take it. you can't do anything about it. You've got to let them. Yeah, it is what it is. You can be in this industry without getting that sort of, people are going to be unhappy. They're going to create that, but I always try and sit down and talk with them if they can, but sometimes they just don't want to, and then you've got to let it go, so it's not easy being an organizer.
So would that be your biggest thing then for people who look, there's lots of people who want to go into this world because it is making some money for some people, and that's their main driver.
Yeah.
But what would you suggest to somebody who wants to set up an organization, who wants to invest in a license of an organization? What would you say is the main thing that they should be looking at?
I think nowadays people don't really even want to invest in a license. They just want to create their own contests.
So they just come up with a name?
They just come up with a name. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. And then they just so I think the message should be to the contestants. Maybe, you can start with that first, but really if you want to move to the next level, don't be afraid to go into more bigger pageants because, it's going to help you with continue to learn and, and in the end, you're going to lose less in that. So
what's the biggest thing that's happened to you on a negative basis? Because, this podcast is trauma to success.
Yeah.
We see all the success. We see everything that's going on. We see the great events. You're positive, you're determined, but the stuff that's happened. And it's other people are going to go through those things. And I want them to realize that even in the depths of the darkness that they're going through, there's a path that ultimately will bring them success. And it just, if you've got one part or something that happened, I don't know, maybe a big sponsor pulled out and it just was
sponsors pull out all the time.
Okay, so that's a big thing, right? That maybe
40,000
that maybe just people don't even know.
Yeah, no, a lot of times you give them the whole works and you acknowledge them and they just don't pay, and that's part of it. You just got to accept that. Contestants, they buy a table and they say they'll pay you after the event. They don't pay. They get the thing and all this is, but we get to be a bit smarter now, before the events, so.
Have you ever had to cancel an event?
I came very close to it.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Do you mind sharing a little bit? Is there something
but without, So I think there are two
without
things.
name and blame and shame and all that. Go for it.
But I think that you've seen my share of controversy because you've been a judge, right? I think the one of it that really broke me was when we did the launch of Mrs. Earth, right? And we had, I think me and Pravita really gave our best, and we thought we did an amazing event. And I think the mistake was maybe we had 2 accomplished participants. I always like to take it in a positive way. They were all good in their own way.
Okay.
So, when the results came out, they were not happy. And I think they were all, and like I said, they were accomplished. They were all accomplished in their own right. And they made noise, So, I had to get all the judges inside and put the marks in. And it's a good thing that I'm always ethical and I've got the marks there to show, because and I think that really
it's not just your personal decision.
Yes, it's there, and and
so there was a negative.
That was
all on that.
from the ones who didn't win, and that was really
How did you feel with that?
Well, Pravita moved out of Earth because it was too much for her, and I had to continue alone because it's bad when they. When they write and they tell you that it was horrible, the food sucked, it was like this, everything was negative. But till the event, you were like kissing ass. You know what I mean? And then suddenly all 5 of them with the same generic letter. You get what I mean? And here you were, you thought it was just amazing. You had done your best. You'd photographed them all together. And that kind of it broke us actually. But, but like you said, from there, it takes time to build up again. And, we worked hard. The next year, actually, what I will give advice.
Yeah.
When you have a bit of controversy, sit low. Sit. So the year after that, I just picked a very capable woman, and I trained her, and I polished her, and I just crowned her. in my supermodel event as Mrs. Earth.
Okay.
Because I wanted, you want to sit. You don't have to do another one. Sit, let it be, let it subside, and that was, and she went on to go on to Mrs. Earth and take second runner up over in the international. You sit and just let it simmer, and things will die down, and you build it up again, and you bring it up, because things will get better.
Yeah.
So if you try to keep attacking them and this, and it's no point. What you know who you are. You know what you stand for. The people around you know who you are. So if you keep trying to and talk bad about them or whatever, you are going to look bad. So it's better to just let it die.
That's brilliant.
Flatline it, and then take that AED and bring it up again. That's what I did for Mrs. Earth.
Wow.
And you see, so that's a success
so
story.
That's a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah,
to
and what
make
was
that
really
decision,
yes
to be able to say that.
Yeah,
not many people would have been able to do that.
Yeah, like I want to do it again
I'm
because you
going to
can
prove
make
to
money.
you that everything was fine. And
Yes, exactly.
it's actually you've got to remove that ego a little bit, right?
Yeah, and you know
not
what?
Not trying to prove a point.
And what I didn't know was the owner of Mrs. Earth. He was watching the competition. He's watching what I'm doing. And
because you actually own the license, so of course there's somebody watching.
Yes, yeah,
the
and he's watching
to make sure
not only
that
Mrs.
you're
Earth, because he follows my
it.
social media. He's seeing what I'm doing for Universe, and he's seeing the work I'm putting in.
Yeah,
and so then it was like, among all of that, he was like, you are the one I feel who's capable, who's able to take the Earth license to the next level. So that for me is like something inspiring.
Yeah.
You don't have to fight. You just let it sit, let it simmer, and then you go again. That's
incredible.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's amazing.
Yeah. Easier said than done.
Well,
it was
absolutely,
hard.
and nobody knows that you went through that.
Nobody.
And to be fair, nobody needs to know in a way.
Exactly.
Everybody goes through the journey. You had to sit in it yourself. You had to make that decision.
Yeah.
What should I do? Do I go out all flaring and just getting on it, or do I just sit back and just go, okay, all right, let me just re-look at this.
Yes.
And think of a new way.
Yeah.
And then
kind of
you
like
get
not make the same mistakes.
And now you've got the success with that.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah.
What do you think the attributes that people who go through those things need to have then? Because obviously that's composure.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of self-awareness. What else is there? Like, can you explain it to people?
I think emotional empathy.
Yeah.
Because you've got to not hate the people around you. So that's what I mean. Not to feel sorry for yourself. You have got to learn not to hate the people around you, to have the emotional empathy to say that they may have their reasons why they did what they did. I understand.
Yeah.
It's not something I would have done, but I respect their decision. But sometimes, but also remember, as business owners, we also need to have what is called that you have to be a bit tough sometimes. So you can be gentle, and nowadays bosses, you need to have high emotional empathy. But there is a point where when you see your organization is really being attacked, and that's when you then you go for the kill. You go for the jugular. Yeah. And that's what I do. I will sit back and I will, but if I feel like, it's coming to the point where I have to take a decision, and I will do it. And I won't hesitate.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk about it. I'll just put the announcement and it's done. Finish. No need to talk anymore. Finish. Go your way. I go my way. Finish and move on. That's it. Simple.
Simple, but it's so hard for people.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
No, honestly, that's really inspiring.
Really
that's
hard.
incredible
It's
because
hard.
people just see that it just feels so easy. And like I said earlier, it's like, you make it effortless.
Yeah.
And it's not. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of decisions to make every single day. There's a lot of planning. There's a lot of future thinking.
Yes.
They don't see that. And so then when you're put into a place where people are actually blaming you for stuff and saying that you're this and that.
In the end, I'm the main boss, so I got to take all that.
But it's also,
heat,
like, okay, well, you stepped over the boundary. That's it. I realized that this could be dealt with in this particular way.
Yeah.
That's it. Done. And you move on.
Yeah. And that's hard, but it's got to be done. Yeah.
So, okay. So one of the amazing things with pageants is that you get a lot of brands to come on board because you've got all these amazing contestants and everything's going to be on social media. And so How would you? A lot of people struggle to go and get brands to sponsor.
Yeah.
How do you negotiate that with the sponsors? Like, what is it? What gets them to come on board and say, here's 30,000 ringgit, here's
Yeah.
money, here's product. What is it like, and how do you navigate that? Like,
Okay.
what's your journey from? Okay, I've got this event, let's say in December,
Yeah.
and I've got 2 months to find the sponsorships. Like, because that's quite an important role
Yeah.
for a lot of people who do events.
Yeah.
Not just in the pageant world.
Yeah. Now finding cash sponsorship is getting a lot harder, unless it's not as easy as it used to be. Like if you talk about pre-COVID, people would that's like you get what I mean. Things really change after COVID, and also because now there's so many beauty pageants. So the like when you go and approach a brand, they've had 20-30 people like already asking them. So you can't be greedy. You can't be, so you've got to make it really attractive for them. Sometimes you just got to be happy with the products, happy with the training development, because all of these are things that have value. So you can't just say, no, I just want the money. You gotta look at it at that wholesome, and like, there's so many things that you can get sponsorship for that you can save. Like, the sound and light, a little bit of a discount there, and and then we just go more for companies, like our connections. We've built our connections, and then, we kind of like sit down with them and make it attractive, offer them a table, tell them we're going to have a good experience. You have to give them a good experience. So that's the thing. It's going to have good food. It's going to have a good
atmosphere.
Atmosphere there. Everything is, you got to make sure that, so that they come back again, and they're happy, but sometimes it looks smooth, but sometimes you forget last. Sometimes you screw up and you may forget, like, you forget to call the person on the stage, like simple things like that. And even though maybe they may have just given a small sponsorship, but everyone is important.
Absolutely.
And then saying sorry is not enough. You have to find a way to really prove you're sorry. Maybe
because they can take that personally.
Yes,
and
of
so
course.
they should.
Yeah, of course.
If they've been invited.
Yes, exactly. So then you have to make it right the next time. You make it right the next time.
What I'm seeing in a lot of these things, and especially even just talking to other people in the industry, is like all these things about networks, connections, communication.
Yes.
Being passionate about what you're doing,
Yeah.
being dedicated to it, being determined no matter what happens. There's all these baseline attributes that
you got
actually
it.
just bring to that success. So if you put those into your mind, into your flow every day, eventually the success will come.
I believe that.
Right.
For sure. In whatever you do, you're going to find something that you can, that will be able to generate success. Yeah.
I think businesses do that anyway, right? They have a product that they need to sell. They put their process in, and eventually they get sales because they've marketed well. They've communicated to their customers, their clients. But people don't realize that in this industry because they think it's all about how people look.
Yes, exactly.
Right? They think, oh, well, you look okay. Like, of course, it's easy for you. You've got all the connections. Of course, it's easy for you to do an event.
Yeah.
So I think there's a perception here that things become easy in this industry when it's not. It's actually
never
tough.
becomes easy.
It's
It gets harder and harder each time. Yeah, because you've got constantly need to keep growing and evolving, and like it's tiring sometimes. But the end result, when it's at the end, and like, I guess everyone's happy. So cliche.
So how many pageants do you have now? Like, what's the...
Okay, all right.
It's like, oh, I've got all these pageants. What do I do? What's the next 6 months look like for you then for these things?
Okay, so like in November, we are going to be hosting. So we are the hosting country for Classic Universe. Okay, so that's the one that when I went to Bulgaria and won. So under the Mrs. Universe pageant, and they had a very successful, they just finished Mrs. Universe in the Philippines, and 130 delegates. But Classic is kind of like for those over 40.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a smaller one, and we are the hosting country. So this is what is called giving back. This is what people think, that sometimes giving back through your work and to organize is a lot harder than taking out money. That's easy for, because, and that's how and when you build that relationship with the license holders and you show how you are able to do that and do a good job, like you see, if I fix the hotel dates, if it's the dates, these are the dates. If I say this is the hotel, this is the hotel. Well, I will see that there are different organizers because I'm sending them for different events. Some of them haven't picked the hotel. Some of them haven't
Wow.
So you see, it kind of like the organizer, like you've agreed to take it on, but you see, if I wanted in the end go, oh, I'm sorry, I'm suddenly so emotionally this has happened, my dog died, I can't do it. What can they do? They can't do anything because they would still want your delegate for the next event, you know. So, but and all the bad name goes to them. But again, then this is called your personal, how you are as a person. Are you okay with doing that? And if you're okay with doing that, I'm not feeling well, I can't do this, and because there's new repercussions, then go ahead. Then that's you as a person, But for me, I can't.
So it's about taking responsibility.
It's about taking responsibility.
Yeah.
If I said I will do something, I have to do it, know. It has to be done. So, new rule in life, don't take too much responsibility. Yeah. You get what I mean? Yeah, because you have to follow through. So, November.
So, any more... So no
November.
More licenses now.
No,
that's it.
So now,
hit your limit.
Next year is focusing on Earth because again, you've got to find your passion.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, it's like that's the environment. There's so much going on. You're always in Langkawi, and I'm always watching your feed, and it's always with the nature and so I think it's also important. Like I feel like if I promote this pageant more and get the contestants to be able to voice out more, and then they're going to be doing more things about the environment, whether it's about animals, whether it's about recycling, whether it's about awareness, you're going to make that little change, and especially for those all over the world, because they all got to do it. One of the criteria is you got to do what's your advocacy? What did you do? That's going to be important. Yes, you've got to look gorgeous. You've got to be like the gorgeous Earth Queen, and but it comes with
deliver
that.
Stuff.
You got to deliver stuff, and I feel like this is going to give me that little bit of satisfaction that I need.
Well, you're creating a chain reaction here.
Yeah.
You're creating a baseline, the hard work, the things that you've been through.
Now, it's exciting.
Now you have this little baby that you can grow, and actually that's the chain reaction.
Exactly. So now I'm excited again.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's something exciting, Yeah. So it's in my hands whether I,
So I think a lot of people don't realize that pageants stretch. Like it's not just the young girls going in, but also then we have Miss, Mrs.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's even I don't know what they would call it.
Well, there's a grandma universe. There is a grandma universe.
Grandma universe.
So when you come in November, there is a grandma universe, and in Bulgaria it's called Baba. And I must say,
wow,
very interesting. When I went in 2019 to Bulgaria, I was like, what is this grandma universe? It's called Baba. But the point is, there were all these, and they had the most cheers. Everyone was like, Baba, Baba. It means like grandmother. It was like, so that's like maybe in Europe, that's a
nice
thing. That's a thing.
Though.
Yeah.
It's good energy.
And of course, there's some hot
babas.
Hot babas. They are hot too. So but I mean,
why do you think they're doing it at that age? Like, why do you think they're bothering? Well, I can understand from 20-year-olds where they want to get into it, they want to feel beautiful, they want to get on stage. It's like doing all that. But at that age, why do you think they're doing it?
I think they just want to inspire other grandmothers. Yeah, like you don't have to you can still. I guess they feel like they've done it all. Like their kids are grown up, they're successful. It's that, I mean, why not?
And giving something to
why
themselves.
Not? But that be said, I do feel that this new, for me, like how Miss Universe, now they've said, we open it up to everybody, any age, whether you're married, not married, whether you can be curvy, you can be skinny, you can be transgender. So for me, I feel, wow, this is so revolutionary, but it's not. We've been having these contests, like there's Miss Universe, we've had Mrs. Universe, we've had Classic Universe, and we've had Grandma Universe. So for me, they've always had these competitions, and in a way, this again sounds to me like a bit of like exploitation, because you get these women coming in just to draw in the thing, but you're not going to give them the win.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So I kind of think
there's
like
still a little bit of exploitation,
it's,
even at that.
yes, yeah, just to generate that. We've always had that.
But again, it's putting the limelight back onto
yes,
the
that's the positive part.
To say,
Yeah.
look, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You make that choice and go and deliver, go and
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
Don't expect.
So
don't
you're
expect
joining
a
Miss
win.
Universe and your grandmother, but
Yeah.
there's Grandma Universe, there's Baba Universe there. You could probably do more there, and inspire, but so.
I want to take it to another thing here, because we've spoken about this before, and it's something that I really do not like. But it's the kids pageants.
Yeah.
Right? And even just thinking about it
Yeah,
now, I
yeah.
mean, like I see all these kids in makeup and high heels and dressed up. It's just complete exploitation of the kids, and their minds are just going to be completely brainwashed about what reality is.
Yeah.
And I've said to parents, I'm like, just be careful, because these kids are delicate, and putting them into high heels and dressing them up and performing like they need to look like an adult, to me, it's abuse. And I don't like it at all. And we've spoken about it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I know that is it the organizer's issue? Is it the parents? Is it both? What is it? Why is it happening? Why can't kids just be kids?
Yeah.
Why do they have to dress them up like they're 20 years old and they're 8?
I think this is the
crazy.
fault of the organizer.
Okay.
Because just say the organizers set the standard, and they say, look, if you come in looking like this, and you getting like that, and you're looking very adult-like, and you've got those 5-inch high heels, and you're posing this way, you're not going to win. Do you think they'll continue to do that?
Yeah.
You see, but when the person comes out like that, and they're posing, and everyone's like, oh,
Clapping,
clapping, and it's
It's
like you say,
exposing the
it's
kids to
exposing the
something that
kids.
is not right.
They're giving the affirmation, and the brain is not formed to be able to understand.
with it. They can't cope with
with it. Yeah,
I find it disgusting, to be
yeah,
honest.
it's
And like,
really,
for me,
yeah,
being in the position that I am and able to share this stuff and talk to people like you about it, because it's something that needs to stop.
and I feel like
Or
it's
change.
it's getting like it's getting worse in
because
Malaysia.
the parents
Yeah.
are kind of pushing their kids into those things.
And the parents may not even realize what they're doing. Maybe it's something that the child wants to do. Like there are some pageant organizers, yes, they hold kids pageant and they keep it kid friendly. Yeah, they have their so they have their guidelines. Yeah, you dress cutesy, and you have a talking and you talk and everyone's like, that's nice, and that's how it should be. But when you start putting them with the full makeup and the thing, and the dress is with the slit and the 5-inch heels, come on, and it's got to be on social media, and there are predators out there. Predators are online, So
why do the parents do that though? Because surely the parent looking at the child just go, I don't want my child to do that. So why do they still put them in, even if the organization allows it? Like, surely the parents have to also take some responsibility there. Or is it just in their mind, they're like, oh, this is how they're going to be famous, and this is how it starts for them, because social media in general is causing problems for people. Everybody's getting confused about what it really is to be successful and what to do. Are they just trying to build their own ego up? Like, my daughter's the queen of blah blah blah, or princess,
sometimes I
or whatever
feel
they
that
call
maybe
it. For that.
it's like, it's like being a soccer mom, right?
Yeah.
You take your kids for sports practice and all that, and this is the same with the beauty pageant. So you go all in, and so you get a bit blinded, from there. And
So I guess we just got to share the message that
that yes,
parents, be careful. Don't do this to your kids.
Yeah.
Take them on other
I think
journeys.
we've got to share it more.
Yeah,
Be
they can
aware.
obviously go to acting classes, dance classes, singing
Take part
classes,
in commercials.
modeling classes, commercial
exactly.
acting.
Take part in performances that are age appropriate.
Yes. And also, they've got to understand that in that pageant, doing that's not the commercial world where they're going to make money.
Yeah.
And on your social media, your child showing themselves in that way is also not going to make them
Just
money.
sexualizing
It's
them.
sexualizing
It's
them.
sexualization.
So stop doing that.
Yes.
Get them into a professional environment where they
Yes.
can learn how to be on camera, they can learn how to be on photo properly, because I
Yes.
know for sure that all
And learn how to talk like a child.
yes, be
You have to
normal.
show your normal, show your innocence,
Yeah.
and like, you know,
Because
get
brands
them to
want
training.
that. Brands
Yes.
want that. Brands
exactly.
No
you can
brand
see it.
is
Have
going
a
to
look
want
outside.
to have
Yeah.
somebody in a who's 8 years old in
Yeah.
a tight dress with 5-inch heels. It's not
Yeah.
or 3-inch or
Well,
2-inch,
because
1
they're
inch.
going
It
to get
doesn't matter.
such a social media backlash
Yeah.
that everyone's going to. The real world will boycott that brand.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
Yeah.
So look, won't go too much into that because it's quite a
But it's a good message
it's a
out
deep
there that,
thing that's
yes,
going
yeah.
on, and I think the people need to be
Yeah.
talking about it. And I
I
think
think
if
it's our
anybody,
responsibility, and for those who are
yeah, and
organizers, to put it out there.
stop,
Yeah.
like to stop
Yeah,
doing it.
exactly.
Change
Or
your
change it,
dynamic.
change
Just
it,
change the
change the
dynamic of what you're
yeah.
doing.
Put
It's
some
not right.
guidelines, yeah.
Put some fun guidelines.
And they must be. You can't have an adult and a kid walking the same way.
No,
So
exactly.
you know, I like that one where they walk straight, or those like
bit of
when you see
fashion,
the
bit of
kid with that
coolness.
spunky, and
Yeah.
she's walking
They got
fast.
attitude, that's
Yeah,
good.
that attitude, and with the attitude and the flick, but when they're doing the slow
Yeah.
and the
Oh.
that no, you can't do
Sickening.
that. Yeah, that professional walk, like
Yeah.
where they're where the models are just walking. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, we're touching
Yes.
on that subject,
Yeah.
and anybody listening, anybody
Yes,
involved with those kids
exactly, yeah.
pageants, change the way
Yeah.
you're doing it
Yeah.
because it's disgusting,
Yeah.
and we need to share.
Yeah, I
we do.
agree. Yeah.
So look, I always come up with a bit of a monologue with each of the podcasts, and I'm just going to read this out, and then we'll do a little bit of talking before we finish off this amazing chat. So every crown tells a story, but not all stories shine. Behind the sequins, the sashes, and the stage lights are real people chasing something more than beauty. They're chasing validation, purpose, and a sense of being seen. Pageantry can build confidence or break it. It can lift someone to greatness or leave them questioning who they really are beneath the gown and the smile. But it's also a place of incredible transformation, where strength is forged in pressure and resilience rises from rejection. We're stepping in behind the glam to explore the truth of what really happens when the pursuit of perfection becomes the degradation of themselves.
Wow.
Like when we look at it, when we think about it,
That's
I really
so
find
true,
the pageant
true.
world to be something that has a lot of power,
On. Yeah,
but
yes.
it can also have a lot of damage,
Yes.
right? And I appreciate everything that you do in your pageants, and I'm sure there's amazing pageants out there. That
It's
are
the
really
blue pill or the red pill.
yeah.
It's like, which one do you take? Like, how do you
And
make that choice?
I guess the message really that I want to put out with this, and why I thought this is a really important podcast to have, is that go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Build the confidence,
Yeah.
get the experience, meet people, build the community, build the network, but be careful.
Be careful.
Be aware.
Like say, do your homework.
Do your homework.
Be aware. Yes.
Know what you're getting into, and
Exactly.
understand what you want to get out of it.
Yeah.
But then once you know that, give it everything, right? So look, I mean, we could talk forever
Yeah.
on all these things, and that I really appreciate you and what you do in the industry, and your presence and your confidence and the energy that you put into your things is really I really admire that, and
And
it shows me a lot of
Carl,
passion, and it's incredible. So yeah, I really thank you for coming on the podcast. And is there anything that we haven't touched on that you think would be important for people who are listening to go, okay, look, I'm thinking about going into a pageant. I think I'd like that experience.
Yeah.
What is it? What do you think they should consider and think about? Maybe we've covered it, but I think there's a little bit more.
Well, make sure you have the time. Make sure you have the money. Make sure you have the support.
Yeah.
And
I guess the support side is very important.
Yes.
Right. Not only, I guess, to potentially win because your support will help you with
but
that.
support, I mean like emotional
emotionally,
support. I don't
exactly,
mean
that's what
support
I'm
in
saying.
terms of like
the emotional support.
the emotional
is what you're
support.
gonna
You
go
need
through.
someone that you'll be able to talk to. And so
Look, you touched on money there just before we finish.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, these organizers take all the money and they make
a
so much
business.
money. That's exactly right.
business. I'm not doing it in a if you want the one in the school hall, you get the school hall. If you want in the mall, you get the mall. If you get the booth,
Yeah.
you choose where you want to go,
Mm.
and which crowd you want watching you.
Yeah, brilliant.
Because the crowd that's watching you is going to be very important as well.
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah.
And you've been coming for my pageants for I think like
7 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the crowd's always been good. It's always been supportive. It's
a great energy.
Glamorous. It's beautiful. And everybody comes there and they really encourage it. And I think the first time we met was the first time I was like, we want to get booked involved.
Yeah.
And I must say that through Supermodel and the universe, we've had so many talents who've got work through booked and made something of themselves, and that's made me really happy that they've had work come out of it. They've gone on to do much bigger and better things, and
well, they've been able to progress, but
yes.
And that's why I think the pageant world is important, because it gives them a
so
foundation.
Important, yes.
And it's just about people being aware of what they're going to get out of it.
Exactly. So I think the positives kind of like erase the negatives. Is that the correct way to say it?
Yeah.
Something like, I know there's a saying, right? Yeah. Where you gotta like you balance out the scales and see how is it? Yeah. So I would say I have a passion for it, and I would like to think that I'm an organizer who's there for the I'm there. My WhatsApp is there. I just switched off the phone for you, but I want to ding 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 ding. All the contestants, they can message me at any point, and I will reply. I will answer. You can be yourself. You can fight with me. It's not gonna. It's you can be yourself. Yeah.
Well, I think the pageant world and the organizers need more of you.
And also because, to be fair, we need them as much as they need us, and that's something important. Yeah.
Beautiful.
We are nothing without the talents.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much for being part of this podcast. It's been amazing. And thanks for sharing all of your wonderful stories and experiences. And hopefully everybody listening out there has taken something quite powerful from this one. And good luck to anybody who's going into a pageant.
Good luck, yes.
And give it your all.
Yes, exactly.
So, thanks so much.
Thank you.